Hello and heartily welcome to a new Docusnap video tutorial. IT documentation is usually quite complex and therefore an also very unpopular topic. This is why we want to remedy this with Docusnap. Docusnap is a very powerful tool with many different and very helpful functions. But today I want to show you how you can very quickly and easily create a basic documentation. This is not only interactive, but since it is based on HTML5, you can also integrate it very easily into your intranet, internal wiki, and so on. For that reason, you and your colleagues have access to the latest information about your IT network from any place at any time. So let's check it out. Here we are on the start screen of Docusnap with the different sections. Here on the left-hand side, above here, you can find the interactive ribbon bar, and here is the Data Explorer. A prerequisite for IT documentation is, of course, that we have inventory data. If you do not have this data yet, it is best to start an initial inventory of your IT network, systems, services, software, and so on. Therefore, go to All Wizards, and you can start an initial scan or an IP scan here. Afterwards, we will switch to the documentation section, and in the ribbon bar, go to All Wizards, and down here, we create a documentation. In the first screen, you can select the company, and very important, you have to choose an alternative documentation path. Second very important point is to check the just HTML documentation, and then we can go on. Second step is to choose a domain. I want to have just the top level domain, so I deselect the sub-level domains, and I want to have the IT assets too, so we can go on. Step 3 is the creation of a network map and a routing map, so I can have a preview here. This is how the network map will look like. You can group the data in some different ways you want it, and you can change the layout here. But since I like the original best, I cancel this and go on. Step 4 is the creation of a topology and a Vlan map. It goes on with the different data sheets, the Active Directory maps for site maps, domain maps, and so on. DHCP, Exchange, SQL Server map, VMware infrastructure, Hyper-V, Citrix, and in step 13, we can choose which of these overviews we want to create. We want to create all, so we go on, and in step 14, we get a summary where we can see what Docusnap will do for us in the next step. With next, we have point 15, and this is very important since it allows us to schedule the creation of the documentation. That is very important since we want to be up to date every time, and for that reason we want to have the creation done recurringly. So we choose maybe weekly, every Sunday at 11 AM, and that way we will have an up-to-date IT documentation every Monday morning when we come to the office. In our example, I deselected since I want to start it now. After a few minutes, the creation of the documentation has finished successfully. Here we can find the status. Most documents have been created successfully. Only 2 were incomplete, but that's okay because I don't have data for this in my demo database I'm using here. For that reason, close the wizard, and now we want to create an interactive overview in an HTML format. For that reason, we go up and find here the Create Overview button. Opening it, it's very important to check the options only include generated documents, and we want to use the alternative documentation path we used before. So I check this too and go on. We have summary again. Here you can schedule the creation of the HTML file, and here it is important that you time it that way that it will be created after you created the documentation we did before, so the HTML file will always be up to date. Our example, I want to do it immediately, so I uncheck it and click Start. This is completed very quick after just 5 seconds. It was successfully, so I can close it. And to open the HTML, I go down here, and by clicking Opening Path, I come to the path where we have saved all our documents. Here it is, the index HTML. I can open it, and here you can find a complete documentation of your IT network. For example, I want to open the network map we just created, and I have here the map, and the best is it's also interactive, so when I hover about one system, I get a short summary, and by clicking on it, here's a very beautiful server datasheet. That quickly and easily you can create an IT documentation with Docusnap. And the best is, this documentation is always up to date thanks to Docusnap's automatic update function. So configure it and forget it. The annoying periodical effort is eliminated from now on. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take also a look on our website docusnap.com. There you can find many more videos to the topics Docusnap, IT inventory, IT documentation, and so on. I'm looking forward to seeing you next time again. Thanks and bye-bye.